before I start teaching you guys a lot of communication skills, if you want to do that raise hand emojis on your screen, or you just, if you're in a quiet spot, or you just want to raise your hands, I can see you. Before I start teaching communication, how many of you, like me, you actually do believe your ability to communicate is critical for what you do for a living? Show your hand if you're like me, you believe your ability to communicate is critical. And look at the hands go up. Terrific. All right. And Christy, since we're now Facebook friends and we're elevated, if you could unmute yourself a sec, I've got a quick question for you. All right. Before I start, I don't know if you Facebook stalked me or saw anything at all, you know, trips to Morocco or whatever it might have been. Okay. Before I start sharing communication with everyone here, what benefits would you come up with for being better in the area of communication? Or what benefits do you think people would get by being on here to get better in communication?
Helping and getting ideas across, helping with negotiating contracts. Agents, I think the number one complaint with real estate agents is a lack of communication in a lot of instances. Okay. So just
do you, who agrees with Christy? Just, you can raise your hand if you, I can't see your face, but who agrees with Christy? It's going to help you in your negotiation. It's going to help you in all walks of life. Funny enough, if someone was to ask me, Jamie, why do you help real estate agents? It's because when I started out this business 5.5 years ago, you guys get a license to sell something with zero prerequisite for how you communicate to get the license. So I end up helping out a tremendous amount of real estate agents with that regard. Now, as I go through this, bear with me, let me just...
Jamie, can I give you a quick tip if you want to? So there are different ways to share the screen.
Right.
So if you unshare and then just share your PowerPoint, you should be able to see the participants and the PowerPoint at the same time. Otherwise, we're looking at your screen with the boxes on it of our faces.
Okay, you can't see the screen, is what you're saying. You can't see...
Yeah.
Okay, right. This is where Teams gets interesting. What about now?
Yep, we can see the slides.
Okay, and you can see me too?
Nope, now we see our boxes with our faces, so you've got to minimize that.
Okay, so that's what I minimize. Okay.
Do you have an option to share just the PowerPoint?
No, I like seeing your faces and the PowerPoint, if that's okay with you guys.
Well, so if you share just the PowerPoint, that's where the faces will come up on the side instead of sharing your whole screen.
Okay, I'm like, if I click hold on a sec, let's try this side by side. Let me try and just try now.
Great.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with this, guys. Please, I say the term, how we talk to ourselves is very important. So I say I'm getting better at technology every day. All right, is the way that I structure it. Stephanie, I can see your face. I can't see everyone else's. So I'm just going to have to try and go with the chat. I don't know if that helped, what I just did helps or not, but I'd rather see faces and just trust my judgment. Now, just out of curiosity, can you see reputation, trust, credibility?
Yes.
Okay, great. We're just going to go with this, by the way. If I go slide to slide, it's more important. Who can understand? It's more important the content I share with you guys, so you understand and walk away from this learning stuff than my ability with technology on this. All right, with the communication, trust, credibility. Katie introduced me to you guys. A lot of you have never heard me speak before. Do you guys have complete faith in Katie, all right, and Janet, that I must be good at what I do and an expert in communication to learn from me? Or do you have to know things about me to feel that I have credibility, trust? What would you guys say if you could all answer, you know, in chat, and maybe Stephanie, you can be my help with analyzing if people write in the chat. Do you have to know stuff about me, guys? Or do you all have faith in the Katies and the people of the world that I must know what I'm talking about? All right. What are people writing in the chat? Stephanie.
So we got a both. I said I trust Katie. Mike says if Katie vouches for you, you must be good. Trusting Katie. Trust
Right.
Katie.
So watch this. I'm going to make this a lesson for all you guys that are actually on here. If I go to my next slide. All right, this, guys, is a letter. If you guys were invited to speak at the Pentagon, all right, would you consider yourself an expert in your field? All right, have I shared enough with all of you on here to be like, okay, all right, Jamie, you've got me now. So in the chat, all right, the person who had to know stuff, now that I've shared that I've actually been invited to speak at the Pentagon, does that give that person instant credibility? And Stephanie's nodding her head, yes. Okay, great. Watch this, guys. That means I don't need to share with you guys that this is what my phone looks like at the end of a virtual call like this. My phone blows up with text messages with people. That's how Janet got in touch with me. I don't know if you know Inman, but I was featured in an article in December, which supposedly that's a very reputable real estate platform to be featured on. You might know, some of you might know Janet. This is me helping Janet with how to do a video text message to actually get a meeting with someone. On the right hand side, Annalise, this was, she did $480,000 GCI. And this past year as well, she was in the President's Awards. All right, these are my clients from Coldwell Banker. Is the President's Award a pretty big deal? It elevates you beyond most other people. Great. These are the clients I've worked with. This is some of what they've achieved in life. But notice I didn't need to share this. Every year I've come up for the past 2 years. I'll be coming up in June. I get to take Janet out for dinner with a meal, and that's her son Anthony. All my clients, I believe in legacy, so I look after. You'll see a smiley face after Janet's son's name. All right, I help him out in life too. I love legacy. All right. If I show you, I take my clients away to Milan, Italy. If Christy would have stalked me to February of last year, she would have seen that. I help clients get business on the golf course. I didn't need to share that. I help people present from stages. I help people be better family members to their kids. Kevin, this is Kevin. He was a drill sergeant in the military.
I think I got him.
I do talks at business schools around the country for college. Can we all agree, guys, that communication is not taught in schools? Would we all be in agreement? And if Stephanie, I can't see your faces with the way, for some reason, the way I'm doing it right now.
We agree.
We agree with that. Great.
We agree.
Okay. This is what my phone looks like from one entity. I wish that I could do this. This is me helping a client get 300 grand in negotiation. Chrissy said negotiation's important. This is me helping to get a 300 grand commitment for a client just in one phone call. And on the right hand side, even more important, it's gone into his personal life with being a better dad to his daughter and reconnecting with her. I'm going to keep scrolling. Oh, this is probably blasphemy, but these are my EXP clients. All right, this is my Edward Jones clients. This is me helping a guy get a $7.95 million listing. He's 25 years of age. I think if you guys were doing 7 deals in 7 days, that would be pretty decent. This is interesting. So I didn't need to share stuff right with you guys, correct? Do any of you recognize this guy on the left? All right, he runs a brokerage in Delray Beach. All right, when I say he loves me, I could pull out my phone and get a text message. I shared something in particular I'm doing for you guys today, and I said I will not let him know about it until tomorrow. And his text message was, do we really have to wait? All right, so I'm sharing something with you guys today, but Steve's a pretty big deal. All right, he's got one of the more successful brokerages. All right, I guess Florida's okay with that. But I go down there and see him a lot, and thankfully he thinks I bring the human touch to things. Are you guys no, you're not frozen. Okay, good. All right. This is what my phone looks like. These are all Coldwell Banker clients reaching out to me after I give these talks saying they want to know more information. Rachel Roach, she's with Coldwell Banker. This is me helping her son out in life. These are all people across the country when I do the Power Hour reaching out to me who end up becoming clients. You see their smiley faces. Ephraim, I like this one. He goes, one thing he forgot to mention on the Power Hour call, is because of things I've been teaching him. He was successfully able to get listings and commissions, all Coldwell Banker. And then I'm going to, my mum, I love my mum. I don't know if any of you love Oprah, but I recently got to share the stage with someone who was on Oprah's couch. So that was nice to tell my mum. And I get to the first lesson, guys, and I'm going to open it up so I can see you guys for this now. The oversharing. All right, guys, here's the story. The biggest amateur play people can do when selling is what's called oversharing. Who should be doing all the talking when you're selling someone? Who should it be? Should it be us or should it be the client? Somebody can answer, like if they unmute it.
The client, and Patricia said the client too in chat.
Fantastic. So watch this, all of you. If you're starting your conversations with people saying, let me start by telling you. All right. Who's doing all the talking? Let me show you this fancy packet I've got. Yeah, right. Hand them a packet of information that's got a bunch of statements and a bunch of information about you and Coldwell Banker, and then basically remove all the emotion or the human element of what you're looking to bring to that conversation. If I teach you guys a question here this morning, which I promise I will do, that can help you get someone to sell themselves on one question you ask them and you haven't told them anything, who would say that was really beneficial to be on this morning? If I promise I'm going to teach that one-off question, you can ask someone and they will start selling themselves. I make a promise I will teach that question. Is that pretty cool on that basis to do that? Great. Now, I am 47 years of age. All right. So being 47 years of age, all right, that means does anyone not know what movie scene this is from? Does anyone know the movie this is from by chance? Christy, Stephanie, what movie?
Karate Kid.
Karate Kid. And Christy, help the room out here, or the people gallery. What is Daniel being taught here? What does this refer to?
Well, it's covered, but isn't the wax on, wax off?
Right, wax on, wax off. So, Christy, when Mr. Miyagi's teaching Daniel-san wax on, wax off, do you remember he's like, Mr. Miyagi, what has this got to do with karate? And by the end of the movie, it was everything, right? So,
yeah.
By the end of this talk, all of you on here are going to have a bunch of wax on, wax off moments. Because I'm going to teach you things, how I get my kids to do what I want them to do without telling them to do it. I'm going to be teaching you how I helped a male client get a date on Bumble without saying anything about themselves. And it's the same verbiage that you guys are going to use to get clients, to secure listings. Can we just all agree that communication doesn't just affect our professional life, it also affects our personal life? All right, so you will get some wax on, wax off moments. How many of you, like me, are parents and you do like the idea of getting your kids to do anything that you want them to do? All right, you're really going to love me on that front. Okay, now my former British self, I have been told I'm pretty charming, debonair. I've been told I can swear and it sounds polite. I will not be cursing here on this platform today. I am now a proud American, like go America. I even drive a truck to prove it. All right, that usually gets laughter. I can't see your faces as I share this slide, but did any of you laugh when I just said that? Because that's part of predictability, all right, with what I teach. All right, I call it the Golden Girl strategy. I'll explain that later on today. Now, I did speak to Janet this morning. I must tell you, can you all understand, I can't teach you everything around communication in an hour. Can we just appreciate that? It's impossible for me to do that. It's also impossible for me to show you the love and care that I actually give my clients, like the Janets of the world. All right, one thing I've changed the goalpost in terms of my mission. Christy, did you see when you went through my Facebook that I might have changed the goal a little bit in life in terms of leaving a legacy? Has that been very apparent to you? All right, so I am saying yes to everything in the minute and I'm making my whole life about helping people. Janet knows this, and this is why Janet put me forward. What I'm doing now in life is a game changer, and it's a very, it's with love and care for you guys that I wasn't doing before last year. I'm 47, going to be 48. There's a lot still that I need to learn in life, all right? But there's a lot I've learned over the last 6 years. but I can't teach everything in an hour, but I'll do my very best to give you as much information as possible. Now, all of you, I tell you what, all of you unmute yourself for a second if you're in a quiet spot. I don't need to see your face. I don't know if you're decent from neck up, but if you can all unmute yourself, because I can't do justice to this lesson. I get better in my ability to communicate and my ability to sell because I teach. I get to do this. I teach you guys things this morning. Now, let's say I teach something to you this morning in a one-word response from all of you, all in unison, one word. I share something with you today and you want to get better at it. In one word, what should you all do to get better at something?
Listening. Practice.
Listen.
Do you know what's funny? You know what's funny here? A lot of you said practice, and then a lot of you said listening. And I said I can't do justice this slide. If you just do this one thing in life, I promise you, you will make more money. I promise you. You're not listening. You're hearing words that you think are being said, but you're not actually hearing what is factually being said. And it's a major psychology play in communication. I didn't make up this concept. If you play back this recording, if you're recording it, you will clearly hear me saying, I get better at my ability to sell, my ability to communicate because I teach. I even stress on the word teach to prove a point that none of you are listening. All right? Because who understands the more you teach something, the better you get? I didn't create that concept. Who understands that's actually factually true? Okay.
Yes.
Right. So watch this, guys. You've been programmed by society to hear certain words. If I say the sentence, I'm not here to sell you something, what does the brain hear? You say, you're here to sell me something. If you've ever had a friend saying, I hope I'm not being an inconvenience. Well, you weren't being one, but now that you mention the word, all right, you're being an inconvenience. If you do this one thing in your sales, you will get more business. Briefly summarize back to your client what you heard them say, or ask them, what did you hear me say? And it will elevate your conversation. In the world of recruitment, which a lot of have you ever had someone turn around from any brokerage saying, we're not going to try and recruit you? All right. Like that's basically you're screaming in their head, I'm going to try and recruit you. All right. There's some negative and positive connotation in psychology. Are you guys with me so far? Because it's funny because you said practice and then you said listening, and I get to prove it's the same every time I do that, just so you're aware. All right. Now, have any of you heard about the notion of building rapport? All of you heard of the notion building rapport? It's an important one. All right.
Yes.
Do any of you remember the first official question that I asked you guys that got every hand raised this morning? Here's the good news. No one ever remembers. No one's going to know that you learned from Jamie Miller, Art of Conscious Communication. You do not need to develop a British accent, and you don't even need to use the same words that I used this morning. All right, but does anyone want to have a guess as the first question I asked that got every hand raised? Okay, so watch this, guys. You're going to love this. If you building rapport, can you all understand? People buy from people they feel somewhat the same as. Are we on a good page? People buy from people they feel somewhat the same as. So what you want to do is actually consciously in your communication, I use the words you like me. So I could go, Stephanie, are you like me? Do you value honesty? All right. And she's going to say,
Yes.
Yes, I've never ever had someone say, no, please lie right to my face. I love it when someone does that. All right. No one's ever said that. If I say, Christy, are you like me? Do you value your time? You're going to say yes. All right. If you don't know someone, good generalized. How many of you want to bring on clients in one meeting? You want to bring on a buyer or a seller in one meeting? How many want to do that? The more specific you get with your you like me, the more inclined you'll bring on a client in one meeting. Christy talked about negotiation. Watch this. What if you started your dialogue? Hey, are you like me in understanding not all realtors are created equally? All right. And the client goes to you, yes, we're in agreement. Can you clearly see you've elevated your chances of being a higher commission, and you've already got buy-in that you're not created the same based on your starting point? Just out of curiosity, just in the chat, Stephanie, if you can keep track, does anyone love that as a play? Because it's only going to get better. But did you love that, guys, as a play? I'm not keeping note of the chat. Oh,
I wrote it down. It's great.
okay, good, absolutely great, Chrissy. All right. Okay, I'm getting some. I'm just checking the chat to see that I'm getting some love back from other people. Okay, great. All right. Now here is where you've probably heard of mirroring before. This is what I call extreme mirroring. All right. Can you all see the middle text there, Stephanie? Can you see the middle text where it's Monica?
No, because you have our pictures up.
Yeah.
Minimize us.
You can't see it. I'm going to just make sure. I'm going to talk to I'm going to seem like I'm talking to myself for a while because I feel like this is like where you should see the slides. All right. But just, Stephanie, if you keep yourself unmuted, that'll be great. And you can just follow the chat. All right.
Sure.
Bear with me. All right. Can you see the screen now? Can you see the text? Okay. Let's go for this.
Yes.
Monica in the middle, she goes, good afternoon, exclamation mark, space, upside down question mark. Her ending, upside down question mark, thank you, period, upside down question mark. If you look at my response, I had to Google how to do an upside down question mark. All right, but she wrote good afternoon. I wrote good afternoon, exclamation mark, space, upside down question mark. Guys, this can take you from, if you're phoning up expired listings to you name it, this will increase your conversion dramatically. If you're only bringing on 1 out of 10, this is getting you to 3 to 4 people out of 10. Here's why. They feel a subtle subliminal, I don't know why, but this person seems to get me more than others. If someone says to you, hey, say hey, not hello. If someone says hi, say hi. I'm not telling you to become someone completely different in life. All right. If someone uses the word kids, don't use the word children. Use the word kids. I have clients that send me black hand emojis. I'm not sending them black hand emojis back, just so you're aware. All right. Like, so that's, usually I get a laughter with that when I share that. But the idea is this, when you're calling up someone, how many, Stephanie, do a lot of people on here make cold calls to get clients to leads? Like they focus on the leads approach?
I'd probably say about 50 to 60%.
Okay, well, for that 50 to 60%, here's the deal, guys. If you're actually calling up people, if you're just scripted, all right, it's not going to humanize you as much as if you just take a moment to hear the other person and how they answer the phone. All right, I've got plenty of examples where I've helped janits and different people in the world to get the meeting. And going through asking 90% of a discovery, if it doesn't get the meeting, it's not going to help you put money in your pocket. A big part of that is how you're starting your dialogue. All right, so so you want to match them in their verbiage a bit, and subtly they'll be like, I don't know why, but this person gets me a bit more. All right, so guys, these are not my kids. They're not Ruby and Harrison. All right, but when I Google image unhappy looking kids, this is what came up. You're about to have a wax on, wax off moment for yourselves. All right. The more specific you get with the question, the more likely you'll get the outcome that you're wanting. All right. The more specific you get with the question to the outcome you want. I'll give you an example. If I want my kids to clean their rooms, make their beds, I don't tell them, kids, go clean your rooms, make your beds. How many of you like me did not like being told what to do like that as a kid? And would you understand your kids don't want to be told? So here's what you do. You start with questions that you want the answer to. Hey kids, just curious, do you love it when daddy's happy? Thankfully, my kids say yes. If I ask a broad-based question, what could you be doing right now that would make me happy? My kids could say, give you a hug. And I'm like, well, yeah, right, that would make me happy, but that's not what I was wanting. So if I go, what could you be doing around the house at this moment in time that would make dad happy? They say, cleaning our rooms, making our beds. And I say, I agree with you. All right. So it's the same verbiage when you get in front of your clients. I'm going to show you examples as realtors where you're not asking necessarily the best questions to get the outcome that you're wanting. And LA Fitness guy, you definitely want to stay away from being an LA Fitness guy. I used to work out at LA Fitness, and at the end of a workout, I would go up to them just to see what they would say to this response. Hey, I'm thinking of checking out Planet Fitness. And they would say, oh, Planet Fitness, they don't have the swimming pool, they don't have the basketball court, they don't have the racquetball court, they don't have the aerobics room with the punching bags. And then I say to them, well, now you got me thinking I'm paying too much money for my membership here. All right, just out of curiosity, why, based on what they told me, would I think I'm paying too much money for my membership?
They just all things we don't use.
Chrissy, well done. I don't use one of those things. Now, are you guys okay with me giving constructive feedback? Would you rather me be gentle or direct? What would you want, gentle or direct?
Direct.
Okay, you asked. So I'm the kind of person, if you've got something in your teeth, I'll let you know about it. You're okay me being that person, correct? All right. I happen to know this because I've experienced it. If a Coldwell Banker real estate agent, someone says, we're thinking of checking out this company, and a Coldwell Banker real estate agent says, they won't stick your house on television, you are being LA Fitness sales guy. You're telling them in a statement something that you don't know if they value, and it means that they will turn around to you and say, well, if I don't want that, can I get you for less commission? And you don't realize from a psychology perspective, you hurt yourself. Are you guys all getting this? I see Stephanie nodding her head, yes, but the rest of you, are you understanding how powerful of a lesson it is not to make statements about what you bring to the table? It's more important as what I call to extract value. You can get paid whatever you want in life, whatever commission you want in life, but you've got to get someone to an emotional state, and making a bunch of statements and crossing your fingers and hoping something resonates is not as sophisticated or conscious as finding out what someone values. Are you guys with me on that from a communication standpoint? Now, women are better salespeople than men. I say that all the time, not just because, like, you know, it's something I genuinely believe, and I put it down to emotional intelligence. It's the capacity to listen and ask the best questions and understanding. Everyone loves things taught in threes. If you do these three things, you're going to get more business. First one, gather information. There's only one way I know on the planet to gather information, and that's asking questions. All right. The second thing I call it is garnering understanding. Garnering understanding. People don't want to be sold. They don't want to feel like they're sold. So what garnering understanding means is this. Put them into your shoes, and if you can get them to see they would be doing the same exact thing as you right now, they won't feel sold. And the third thing I call it is predictability. It's knowing what reaction you get when you do something. Earlier on when I said, are you all decent from the neck up? Christy cracked up. All right. Earlier on when I said I'm a proud American, I drive a truck. I know that some of you laughed. Why? Because it's a predictability play. Isn't it nice when you know what the answers are to the questions you're going to ask? All right. Realtors, when they go networking, are it fascinates me that they don't separate themselves from anybody. What do you do for a living? And they make a statement. I'm a realtor. All right. Or I help people buy their dream homes. Or I had one person say, I help people build generational wealth. I said, do you actually do that? They're like, no, I just think it sounds very professional to say it. All right. But like, there's no connection there in that. But you need to get someone to an emotional state. I didn't learn this till I was 29 years of age. So it's not taught in college. It's whoever asks the question steers a conversation. You've probably been taught whoever asks the question steers a conversation. I'm about to be a big impact for you guys right now. There are two questions. There are good questions, bad questions. Here's an example of a bad question you do not want to ask someone that you've never spoken to before, that you're trying to sell on your services. Do not ask, if you call me up and go, how are you? All right. I'm going to turn around and say, do you genuinely care? And you're going to say yes. And then I'm going to go off on a complete tangent about what time I woke up, that my dog wasn't as regular as he usually is, that my 16-year-old daughter, all right, was a nightmare getting ready for school. I'm not saying we don't care about people. I'm saying we care greatly. I'm just saying, can you understand the caliber of the question you ask can dictate that conversation? So if you ask, how are you, you've got to be prepared for the answer. Does that make sense? Don't beat yourself up if you're asking it. I just assure you there's better questions you can ask to show someone that you care. Now, Stephanie, can you pick on someone, because I'm seeing you and I'm seeing the screen, so this is good for me. I can't see everyone else, but like, if you could ask someone, what does someone say when a seller says to them, I think my house is worth X? What is the immediate response question that anyone in this group would care to share with us this morning, so I can be really amazing? What do they share? What's the question that every real estate agent asks when a seller says, I think my house is worth X?
Do you want me to answer that or pick somebody?
Pick some. Well, look in the chat. Everyone in the chat, just give Stephanie some ammunition here. You've got a seller and they've said to you, I think my house is worth X. What is the one response that you have got in there as a question that real estate agents ask?
Sam said, learn this the hard way with my sister-in-law. Note to self, oh, don't ask how she is. Sorry, that was the last one. Mike said, where'd you find that number?
Right.
Christy said, I appreciate you have an expectation of pricing. Where did you come up with that number?
Right. So watch this. It's always a variation of, how did you come up with that price? Okay. Guys, I teach what's called conscious communication. It's elevating your chances of getting business, and it's asking questions you want the answer to. Are you the expert, or is the seller the expert? Let's just think about this for a moment. Who's the expert? You or the seller? It's you, right? Like, you're the expert. Someone who's not the expert, the seller has said, I think my house is worth X. And the question you've chosen to ask is, how did you come up with your price? When you listen to that person go off on a tangent, are you going to be able to say the words, I agree with you, at the end of what they say to you? All in unison. Are we going to be able to agree with that person? Once they got this, usually tied to a bad debt on a credit card, or their neighbor's house sold for something. All right. It's got no bearing. So guys, I'm sharing there's way better questions that you can ask at that moment that will get the business for you. I love multiple choice questions. Say that again. Sorry.
I think I would ask what they think that their house is worth that price, because sometimes they like older. Like, if I say, "Oh, how did you come up with that number?" I think it's like less personal than, why do you think your house worth
It's
that price?
even still. Look, I tell you what. I make a promise, you guys. I know that we've got another 25 minutes. I'll promise you to stick around, and if I get a moment, I'll share what I would say, and it's not anything to do with how did you come up with your price. And if that is that something you guys would want to stick around to learn, just what is the different approach on that. Now, multiple choice questions are the best way to steer a conversation. There's no better psychology play to do. If you've ever had someone say, hey, we're going to hold off, we think the market's going to crash. You ever had that? All right, a buyer say, we're going to hold off. If you ask them, why do you think it's going to crash? You're now having to listen to them go off on a tangent. All right. If you start your dialogue with a multiple choice question, some of you will get this, and turn around and say, hey, just out of curiosity, humor me for a moment. Would you say you've got really terrible taste in homes, or would you say you've got pretty good taste when it comes to buying a home? As a multiple choice question, what do you think most people, 99 out of 100, let's call it, there might be one different one, but what are most people going to say? They've got bad taste, or I've got really good taste? All right. Okay, they're going to say I've got good taste. You have now steered that conversation. I can't teach everything, but Christy, did you see clearly where that's a difference? Like, I'm steering the conversation to a better outcome. Oh, any of you ever turn around and get told, what are your fees that you charge in negotiation? All right, watch this. You're going to love me. What are your fees? If you share, these are my fees, and they're high, they're going to be like, yeah, no, I need to think about it. All right, or thanks, but no thanks. You say this. Absolutely, I'll share the fees with you very quickly. Just real quick, do you care just about the fees, or do you also care about the caliber of the real estate agent you're going to be using? I hope you're loving this, by the way. Like, someone says, what's your commission you charge or fees you charge? And you say, I absolutely will share it. Just very quickly, do you care just about that, or do you also care about the caliber? Can you all clearly see where you're taking the conversation now that helps you? I'm trying to make sure that it sits in. Obviously, there's more to the where you take them after that point. But for the purpose of starting, anytime you face an objection, multiple choice questions is one of the best ways to overcome an objection. Oh, do I have your permission to show how I helped a male client get a date on Bumble using 3 questions? And it's the same questions you can use as real estate agents. Okay. The first question is called what, why, and how. What, why, how. It's simple, profound, because not everyone does this. The question I helped him come up with first was, if you could pick one characteristic that you want when choosing to go on a date with someone, what would it be? The young lady said chivalry. My client with my help goes, I believe chivalry is important. Why did you pick that? She goes, it shows how someone would treat you, and frankly, there are not too many men with that. So my client with my help goes, so if I'm able to illustrate chivalry is important in the way I treat someone, specific question, would you be up for meeting up? The feeling part, the how part, would that feel like you've met someone rare? She goes, I like your response. The answer is yes. Did my client tell her a bunch of things about himself? No. He found out what was important to her, why, and how it'd feel. You guys should love the notion people will do things based on one value system. I drive a truck for one reason. I bought a truck and I paid whatever they asked for it to feel like a man. That's a true story. That was the one reason I bought a truck. All right. If you ask someone, what is one characteristic that you would value the most when choosing to work with a realtor? You could even use body language. Me. All right. What would that be? Let the client tell you. And then you say, just out of curiosity, why did you pick that? Let them go off on a tangent. And then you get to say, how would you feel to know I can 100% deliver on that? Would that make you feel pretty confident to use my services? They will be more inclined to say yes. All right. It's the one way I know I could, if I technically got someone to volunteer on here who hasn't achieved what they want in life and they're actually vulnerable and attached to it, I could pretty much get that person into tears in an emotional state using what, why, and how. Oh, who would be excited to learn the one-off question you can ask people when they sell themselves immediately without you telling them anything? Who's ready to learn that question? Watch this, guys. I'm being a bit cheeky here. Hey, Christy, do you remember the question I asked you that got you to say, I'll negotiate better, everyone will negotiate better, get more business in life? Do you remember what the question was?
Yes, what was the importance of communication?
Say that one more time.
What's the importance in communication?
Pretty close. Well done. That's pretty close. So here's the question I use, guys, and you're welcome. You can use it. Again, not needing a British accent. It was this. Hey, before I share anything around communication, what benefits would you come up with to be better in the area of communication? And then I just open up my ears to listen to Christy tell me a bunch of things that she will benefit from. Guys, you can go into a listing meeting and be like, hey, before I share about myself and all the wonderful things I know I can get your home sold, what benefits did you come up with for specifically meeting with me today? And I promise you, you'll hear stuff that you never dreamed of hearing. They'll say, oh, you don't know this, but we are friends with the Joneses down the street and they already sang your praises, meaning you've got the business. Christy, just because I can see you, can you attest to the notion people can talk themselves out of business when they talk too much and they can be like, hey, I don't see what the Joneses saw in this person. They're just talking too much. All right. So that's okay. Thank you. Now, just so you know, these are clients of mine that use that question in a text message to get dates. On the right-hand side, the young lady wrote an entire essay of benefits to go on a date with my client. Just by him texting, what would you say the benefits would be? On the left-hand side, my client got a young lady to drive 2 hours to see him just based on 5 benefits where he got to say, I agree with everything you just shared. I'm just showing you it works in all arenas. Before I share this, what benefits would you come up with? You will love the answers from your potential clients. This is where Janet says she loves me because she says I humanize it. How many of you like the idea of actually going to bed at night and actually feeling like I'm being myself? If you're following a script, one of the strangest things to me is you'll get told be authentic, and in the Never Express, here's a script. Can we see there's a very big disconnect? Be authentic. Here's a script, by the way. All right, that Chrissy, are you with me on that? Like that's okay. So, and just so you know, Janet laughed. I've got a speaking engagement in September, and I'm sharing the stage with Tom Ferry of all people. All right, so you got the script guy, and then you got the complete there's nothing scripted. You want to go into your conversations with the words "I agree with you" before you get started, and you get to be human and be yourself. All right, and that one of the biggest things I teach, especially you guys, is how you get on a phone call and how you actually get in front of someone very quickly. Christy, would you understand? No one likes long cold calls from people they've never met before. So the goal is, how do you be yourself, make it quick, and ask a question that leads to the outcome you want. If you're sending an email, the only thing you should be selling is a phone call. If you're sending the phone call, the only thing you should be selling on the phone is a meeting in person or a virtual meeting. Janet, I showed a snapshot earlier. Janet was used to being sending out I left a voicemail or if you're interested, and it's just changing out the name of the recipient. Can we agree? How many of you want luxury listings in life? You want to be part of President's Club and do luxury listings? If you put in the chat, Chrissy, I can't keep touch on the chat, but is everyone on there alive, fogs up a mirror, and they want to do luxury listings in life? Is that something that they want to do? Are you getting any response in the chat? I'm just doing some
Yes, and always. They
Okay.
better want luxury. No.
Well, watch this. I implore you guys to look at every message you send out there, and if you are just changing the name of the recipient and generalizing it, I wish you all the best in life. But you're less likely to get people who are luxury listings by sending out a generalized "if you're interested" or just changing out name of recipient. There's better approaches. I'll teach a couple here. The only time in the world you'll ever hear me say these words is when I'm teaching people not to say them. Here's words you never want to say that I promise if I listen to your calls or I look to your emails, you will have some variation of this. Remove the words "I want" from your vocabulary. All right? You remove the words "I want." Here's why it doesn't work. Christy has kids. I know this because earlier I said how many you want to... Okay. I have a daughter. She is my princess. There's purple hearts after her name. Like, she can get pretty much anything from me. When she was 8 years of age, my daughter Ruby approached me and she goes, "Dad, I want a cell phone." And I very quickly turned around to her and said, "No, your brother didn't get one till he was 12. Now, her communication she went with was the words "I want." If I don't care what my own daughter wants, what chance do we have of complete strangers caring what we want? The mere saying of the words "I want" in psychology, is there any emphasis whatsoever on the other person? I'll wait. All right. No, I don't care. Okay. What you guys are going to laugh. What if my daughter came up to me at 8 and said, "Dad, just curious, do you care about my safety?" As a starting question. Now, Christy's showing me what would happen there. All right. That's a question. It's a more conscious question. What if she goes next? What if she knows what, why, how? What if I go, "Ruby, absolutely I care about your safety." What if she goes, "Dad, why?" "Oh, Ruby, I would hurt someone if they were to mess with you." "Dad, how would it feel to know that I'm safe at all times and my whereabouts at all times?" What if I threw an objection at her? "Ruby, very funny, haha, very clever, you're not getting a cell phone." What if she knew how to overcome objections? You guys will get this wax on, wax off. "I'm a little bit confused, Dad." "Huh?" There was this strange man at the school and he was freaking my friends and I out a little bit." Who can clearly see she's getting a cell phone, but she didn't start with "I want." She focused on what I want first. In your sales, make it all about the other person first, getting what they want. For negotiation with the NAR thing, I'll just teach you a one-off question you want to start your dialogue with another agent. All right, this can be used in any scenario. "Hey, humor me. Hey, do you like win-win situations in life?" If that agent on the other side does not say yes to that, all right, run away, all right, as quickly as you possibly can. All right, but it's a great starting point for a negotiation. Chrissy talked about negotiation. One of the best questions to start your negotiation with consciously is, Hey, do you like win-win? Are you like me? Do you like win-win scenarios? It's a great setup. Christy, do you like that as a starting point? Okay, good. All right, now I know I'm picking on you a lot, Christy, but the truth is you're the only face I see, and so that's why I'm picking on you. It's not because it's not because we're Facebook friends now. All right, okay. Now watch this, Christy. I'm going to teach people how you elevate your chances for a meeting. Watch this. This is legendary. Just using 2 words. I said the more specific question you ask, better. If you ask a broad-based question, you're always going to get a no, typically, like this. Christy, do you have time later on today for a phone call with me? What are most people in the world going to say to that?
No.
No, why? Because I'm binge watching this show Netflix. I've got 1,000,001 things to do. Okay, now watch Christy's answer change instantly, everyone, just because I used 2 words on purpose. Hey, Christy, if there's something I can't teach in the next 10 minutes, it will be life-changing, though, for your team, for yourself, for your family, for everyone involved in your life with communication. Would that at least be worth 20 minutes?
Yes.
Okay, folks, you just heard it. I turned what was a no into a yes just by using the words at least. Did I say I want to get on a phone call with Christy? No. All right, so hopefully you guys are loving. That's how you get meetings from phone call to meeting in person with someone and getting more likely to get their business. So just using the words at least. The more you use the word value, the more likely you won't get people saying to you your commission's too high. All right, if I say, Christy, what kind of value do you place on being better in communication? Low or really high? What would you say, Christy?
I would say hi.
Hi. Have I taught you anything today that you didn't know? You look like you've been taking some notes. Have I taught you anything at all during this period of time that you like?
I'm a big note taker. Yeah, just like the one-liners and things. So yes, I'm learning.
Okay, and you didn't learn this stuff in school, correct?
Not necessarily.
Right.
I have a communications degree though, so there's that.
But I have a communication degree too, but it didn't teach how to present from stages and get people to pay me whatever amounts to do stuff. But no, the point being is I can now leverage different things in payments and gathering information. I'm gathering information, guys, for those you are not seeing what's going on. I gather information from Christy. Did she go to school? Yes. Did she learn stuff? No. And now I can say, what value do you place? Really high. Have I shared what the investment is yet? I haven't. But the more I get her to value it, the less likely she can be, no, that doesn't make any sense. You guys get to do the same thing in your real estate business for yourselves, if you can connect the dots here with that. Oh, I don't have time. I teach people how to get upgrades on airplanes and into gyms for free around the country, or an upgrade in rental cars. All right, that's fun. I am going to teach a higher level. This is sales level 400 if it was a college class. Have any of you ever heard of neuro-linguistic programming? Chrissy, have you ever heard of NLP? Has it been something you've heard of? Okay. I'm about to teach you now. All Coldwell Banker clients, you guys are ethical, correct? I'm helping you today get business over your competition by learning a communication strategy that you can do, but you can only use this with ethics, integrity, good morals, with good intentions. The more someone hears the word buy in your dialogue, the more inclined they're going to buy something. So here's an example of how it works. You say, I've listened to you, by the way, and I've found a house. It ticks off every box. By at the end of walking around this home, you're going to see that you're going to love this. Hey, by the way, did you happen to notice over there where you can do this? Hey, by chance, did you look outside at the landscaping? Did you see by the kitchen where you can put your dog stand? Hey, by now, can you see where this home is the one for you? Now, the first buy that, I hope you understand the power of what I'm teaching you. The first buy they hear is buy at the end. All right, you're telling their brain they're going to buy something. When? At the end. The last buy they hear is buy now. All right, I teach so much neurolinguistic programming ethically that you guys can use where you speak to someone's subconscious and elevates their chances of doing stuff with you. Christy, did you like that as a play? That's definitely not something you learnt in communication in college. All right.
I used that a lot when I was selling.
Okay.
So yeah.
Good
Yeah.
job. I don't mind admitting I'm a big Golden Girls fan. You want to create a Golden Girls strategy in your life. What that means is this. All right. You'll watch the rerun. Sophia, the mum, always on Dorothy's case to find a man. All right. Blanche in the Yellow, always sleeping with every man in South Florida. And the glorious, lovely Betty White, her head's in the clouds every episode. Nothing changes, yet you'll watch the reruns and you know what's going to take place. You want to create that with regards to your networking, your meetings, so you know you're bringing on the right client for yourself. There are things you can do with predictability, with your own authenticity, that will get the right clients for you. All right, so you never work with headache clients. I'm going to end with 2 words, and then I said I'd stick around to answer some questions. I call this the sweetest little word on the planet. Every one of you, you'll want to use this word somewhere in the middle towards the 3/4 of the way through a meeting. You just use the word yet, consciously, when you're in a meeting to bring on business. Halfway through a meeting, you just say this. Have you heard everything that you need to hear from me yet? To feel confident to list your home with me, as an example. The person might surprise you and say yes, and now you don't have to do nail biting to bring on the client and ask for action. You get to say, that's terrific. The next step is very simple. Here's what makes the word yet so sweet. Have you heard everything you need to hear from me yet to list your property with me? No, we haven't. That's still terrific. What is one thing specifically that you'd want to hear so you could feel that sense of confidence? You're back into the meeting. It doesn't end your dialogue. The other word, I sometimes feel like I'm a therapist in psychology in what I teach my clients because the self-talk that goes on, especially with the NAR thing. I was being dragged into every real estate brokerage to teach negotiation for NAR, and a big part of it is self-talk. I call it the Stephanie analogy. Christy's my Facebook friend. She'll have seen, I've got a girlfriend who I love dearly. I took her to Morocco. I will wake up in the morning next to my girlfriend Stephanie and I'll say these words. Honey, you are absolutely stunning. And she will say, I think you need glasses. All right. Why? Because I'm telling her something that I believe to be true. She doesn't believe it. So self-talk in the real estate space, when you've got a broker or a team lead telling you something, I understand. You go home. If you don't believe it to be true, it's your own self-talk. If you say, I've not reached my goals of 2025, that's a negative self-statement. Add the word yet on the end of that real quick and see how quickly your psychology changes around what you're going to achieve. And Christy's nodded her head. She gets it. So the rest of you can see that. All right. And that's the word yet. And then I'll end on this word and then I'll open up some questions. The most powerful word in sales. There is no more powerful word than this when selling. You want to consciously, all of you, use the word believe. Believe. And here is why everyone in the world will always do what they believe. All right. People will go to a place of worship every week based on what they believe. People will spend $300,000 to go to a liberal arts college today based on what they believe. Now, I can't do justice to all the love and care in the world. All right. I've got multiple ways now that I get to teach a lot of people and leave a legacy for not only the Janets, but their kids, and I'm loving where I'm going in life. Just real quickly, in the chat for the 41 of you on here, or 40, I should say, other than myself, all right? How many of you believe that I could help you get more business, have better lives with your family members, and actually get ahead in the real estate world? And is anyone typing in the chat? If you can look, Christy, for me. How many of you believe that I can help you? There's a reason that I'll prove a valid point.
There were some thumbs up that came through.
Oh, some thumbs up. Okay.
We have a yes.
Okay, good. Sometimes there's a lag. All right. Watch this. What should you guys do now that my number is up on the screen? Can you see
It's
it?
not up.
It's not up? Oh,
No.
man. Okay, hold on. I just did the whole... There you go. Is it up now?
Yes.
Okay. So, Christy, what should you do now that my cell phone number is up? If you believe I can help you.
Right. Write it down.
You could write it down. It could just sit on your desk. What else could you be doing?
Texting you.
Texting you right now.
I agree with you. Okay, so I didn't tell Christy to do it. I asked her questions to get her to do it. Do you see where I'm going with this, guys? And that's what I teach people, Janets, different people of the world. Just so you are aware, I've got a few different ways. I've got one way to get involved with me that going forward, that's my passion project. There's pretty much nothing. All right, and I'm helping the kids out with that too, whether it's going for job interviews to like employees where they want to negotiate a better raise in their jobs, to you name it. Are there any questions at all in the chat? And I'll let you monitor that, Christy or Stephanie.
Or if anybody wants to come off mute.
Christy, do you guys have any questions for your teams that would be something helpful for me to share at this moment in time?
Someone just asked in the chat, what is the answer to how to respond to the seller that know how much his house is worth?
Great. So one thing you don't want to do, you don't want to say, I agree with you. You don't want to say, I disagree with you, because that's never good. And you don't want to use the word but, because no one likes it when the word but comes in to play. All right. So and you don't want to ask them, how'd you come up with that price? Because now you have to listen to them. I would immediately absorb what they say. All right. And it's a buffer play. I would say, I get it. I can see maybe where that might be a thought process at this moment in time. There's something around your home I've not had a chance to share with you yet. Is it okay if I quickly share something with you? And that's how I've buffered the play. So the words, I get it. I can see where that's a thought. There's something around your home I've not had a chance to share with you yet. Is it okay if I share something with you? And then very quickly, I would go to this place, because I would say, I pride myself on being a professional. Would you believe that I've done this a number of times? If I want to elevate my chances of yes, I'm going to not, I teach body language. I would be doing this. All right. Would you believe I've done this before? All right. And I would not behave yes. The second they say yes to that, in their mind now, subliminally, they're going, I should probably listen to this person because they know what they're talking about. Now, there's obviously more, but can you see the starting point? Here's what I'm not doing. I'm not saying, how did you come up with your price? That is an irrelevant conversation for you to get the business. Did the person who just asked that, did they like what I responded there? And again, most of the time I get to do these, it's archived. I don't know if you're recording this for them so they can play this back for themselves. Okay.
She said yes.
Great. It's area 267, I guess, and 484. That's your neck of the wood. Like, okay, yeah. Phone blowing up.
Mike Skay has a question.
Go ahead.
He said if you had to choose one of the X-Men that best represents your approach to communication, who would it be?
If I had to pick an X-Men, how do you know that I like X-Men? Like, is there something you can see behind me, like the Marvel stuff, I guess?
Perhaps.
Okay.
It's the Hulk. It's the Hulk and Wolverine comic behind you.
Okay, can you just pass me the Wolverine head? So, if you become my friend like Christy and Facebook stalk me, you'll see that I actually took my son to Comic-Con in the summer, in last August, and we went to the premiere at the Chinese Theatre for the Deadpool Wolverine movie. That's not going to say that communication-wise that I like this, but I like this more humanized approach. Ryan Reynolds is not too loved in society right now today, so I don't know if that's a good one to say that I align with. But I like it when people bring a humanized approach. I'll give you an example. If I was calling you up, I would start with things such as like, I've got to be upfront. Never in a million years did I think I would be doing this call. Yeah, I'm fascinated by how someone always wants to meet with me as a result of this. Have I said, hi, I'm so-and-so with Coldwell Banker? No. All right. But what I've done is, all right, are you like, I don't know if you're like me, never in a million years did I think I would be here. They now have humanized. Hey, perfect example, Stephanie, when you were a young girl growing up, did you actually believe that you would be sat at the desk that you're sat at right now doing what you're doing in life?
No, I thought I was going to be a veterinarian.
Do you see my... Okay, so if I said never in a million years did I think I'd be sat in front of you, I could build rapport around that with you. All right. For those you... listen, if you want business without having to do this all day, I teach realtors how to get on podcasts. Also, divorce attorneys. You want to make friends with them. Do not go into a divorce attorney's office, here's my book, and expect them to read it. But if you go into an office consciously, all right, and at the desk, you're going to see someone, you say, hey, just... have you ever heard of the term gatekeeper? All right. And I promise you, they will laugh. All right. They'll be like they'll do an immune, and you'll be like, am I correct that you're the person who makes sure only the best of the best gets in front of so-and-so attorney? I'm betting you you only get amicable cases here. Am I correct? Only the amicable ones. All right. And you're going to humanize I'm just giving you examples. There's no script, but I'm giving you guys permission in your dialogue to be your glorious selves, but tweak a statement into a question, and you will elevate your chance of getting business. I'm just throwing... Janet calls it throwing pasta at the wall, all right, in terms of value. Any other questions are in there? No. Was there anything in particular that stood out for you guys, Christy, Stephanie, today in particular?
Mine was definitely don't be that LA fitness sales guy. That really stuck. Just thinking about, listing presentations by just all of that. So I took notes too. Christy and I both do all the time.
We like our notes. No, I just like the stopping in the middle and asking, have you heard everything you need to know yet?
It's such a... The other one that people don't do is the group psychology at the beginning of a meeting, and it's so powerful. If you go in and just say, hey, look, just so you know, usually around the half an hour mark, people are pretty confident, to list with me. That's subtle. It stops your meeting going off on a tangent now. And when you get to the half an hour mark, you get to reframe. Hey, do you remember when I said at the beginning, have you heard everything you need to hear yet? And you'll likely get the yes. Just so you're aware. Again, I wish I could share everything. There are things you can do, trance-like state. Stephanie, unmute yourself for a sec. And just for the group, I have a bit of fun here. Just say the word milk 3 times really quick.
Milk, milk, milk.
What do cows drink? Quick.
Milk.
Okay. So now...
Damn it, I knew that too.
Right. But watch this. Even if you would have said water, I would have said, what did your brain want to say? All right. And you would have said it wanted to say milk. Everyone who's on this call right now is about to learn something. When you say 3 facts in a row to somebody, they will take the next thing that comes out your mouth as most likely to be factual. So you want to make 3 facts in a row and then throw out an opportunistic statement, question. So watch it. So it's like this. Hey, we spoke on the phone on Monday. You shared these details with me. I'm now physically in your home. Those are all facts. It's not a statement of yes. It's not corridor of yeses and questions. That's amateur hour in sales. It's 3 statements to then say this. So naturally you could see where having me list your home would be a really a great thing. They can't suddenly go, yes, that is true. Yes, that's true. Yes, that's true. No, I can't see the next part. All right. It's also a way to stop people ghosting you and re-engaging them as well. So was that good?
So,
Was that?
Jamie, I know.
Did you like that as a play?
Yes, I hate milk, and actually was having a discussion with one of my agents about it this morning. So,
Well, now today's world, you can order any kind of milk on the planet, from oat milk to almond milk.
this is very true. This is very true. And Katie had to run out. You've given us well more than an hour, which is amazing. And I'm sure everybody on here, I know everybody on here got something from today. I mean, I've got 3 pages of notes alone from today myself. And I can't wait to hear my agents, what you got from it, what you'll use. And Jamie, this was valuable information. I mean, we all appreciate everything. And you coming on here, and thank you to Janet. I don't know if she's still on.
I didn't know if Janet did get. I don't know if Janet did get on today, but that's.
I'm on here. I'm
Oh,
on here. Can you hear me?
hey,
I'm actually at the hospital, but I just want to jump on. Jamie, this was awesome. Thank you so much for coming on for us. I know personally I greatly appreciate it. So thank you.
Janet, thank you so much for inviting me. If any of you are like Janet's, you'll be a blessing to me in my life. That I can factually share with you guys. All right, from So no, thank you for having me, and I will. I get to go to. I'm speaking at a mortgage event now at Universal Studios, so I'm driving the backstages. So it's one thing after another. But thank you guys, Christy. We'll catch up on Facebook.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the session, Jamie. And
Take care.
A bunch of good stuff. Thank yous in the chat. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy your day. Go use some of this stuff. And text Jamie.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks.